in a good pasture, and upon the high mountains of Israel shall their folds be. There shall they lie in a good fold, and a fat pasture shall they feed upon the mountains of Israel. Yes, we've been given a promise, so long as we follow his commandments, that the wicked man will be seized, he will perish, and the righteous man will prevail. And yet we have been scattered because of our sin, that we chose not to follow the commandments set forth by our forefathers, even written in stone on Mount Sinai. Save I, O God, by your name, and judge I by your strength. Hear my prayer, O God. Give ear to the words of my mouth. For strangers are risen up against I, and oppressors seek after my soul. They have not set God before them. Selah. Behold, God is my helper. Lord with them that uphold my soul. He shall reward evil unto my enemies. Cut them off in your truth. In your truth. Truth is our weapon. Learn to use this. Even the Christ is called the truth. Yes. I love the Lord, because he has heard our voice, yes, and our supplication. He has inclined his ear unto I, therefore will I call upon as long as I live. The sorrows of death compassed I, and the pains of hell gat hold upon I. I found trouble and sorrow. Then called I upon name of Lord. O Lord, I beseech you, deliver our soul. Gracious the Lord and righteous, yes, our God, merciful. Lord, preserve the simple. I was brought low, he helped I. Return unto your rest, O my soul. The Lord has dealt bountifully with you. For you have delivered our soul from death, my eyes from tears, my feet from falling. I will walk before Lord in land of the living. I believe, therefore have I spoken. I was greatly afflicted. I said in my haste, all men liars. What shall I render unto Lord? All his benefits so die. I will take the cup of salvation and call upon name of Lord. I will pay my vows unto Lord now in the presence of all people. We can talk about the weather, or we can read from the scriptures and teach people, because it has become evident that that is what people need, is education. You know, the scripture teaches us people are perished because of lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. And where do they get their knowledge from? The screen, augmented reality. These people look at it and they say, this is real. This is what people are doing. We're not looking at puppets being portrayed as models to mimic. No. This is what people believe is reality. So you can pretty much educate people on falsehood and deceit. You see these congregations, they stand out here and they profess that what this institution is doing is righteous. And they stand by their side. What are they looking for? Or what are all these publicans seeking? Tax. That's why they're publican. They're tax collectors. So, as long as people can pitch in, then they're forced to labor for that which they have lost. So everything comes down to transactions, contracts, people forfeiting income in exchange for products and services. And that's what keeps the wealthiest in control of this economy. This economy forms the basis for this institution. It's called this rule. And there's really no incentive to stop this because, see, the inner workings have become so elaborated that everything's in place now. And those people that are sitting at the top, controlling through their legislation, they're content. They're saying, hey, things are going just fine. This is democracy. This is the land of the free. There's no incentives to stop crime. Because if they stop crime, they won't have any work. So, you know, instead, what they do is they make attempts to drive those numbers down. And they say, we're going to bring down crime numbers, and we're going to publicize it through our various channels of media, which are all controlled. And then we're going to show everybody how great of a job we're doing. But look at the crimes that are being committed. Yeah, they may have been robberies down. I mean, there's cameras everywhere, you know, facial recognition and all this. I mean, it's no brainer that you're going to stop stealing. If you lock up, most of the people in the world are locked up in this country. If you lock everybody up, yeah, you know, you might stop them. But did you stop the problem? Or are people still being raped and mutilated on camera, live stream?
And that's why we don't follow them. Because we choose not to live in sin.
This institution. Because it was supposed to keep a cap and keep a safety net, you know, provide for security. Except, I don't get the feeling that people feel secure. I don't get that feeling. You know, certain people have used groups of people against each other since the formation. Because they realize as long as people are competing against each other on the bottom, there's a greater outcome for those at the top. Right? When the railroads are being built at the beginning of the 20th century, Chinese worked for one company and the Irish worked for another company. Because the owners of those companies knew it would result in more labor if people can be pitted against each other.
We're not looking out for our interests.
So, this prejudice it's an infestation, but it works in the favor of the benefactor. For us to hate each other, to blame each other because of what we look like.
We tend to see each other as the problem, dividing ourselves against each other, and this is the divide.
It works in the interest of those benefactors who are being protected by the law enforcement, because that's what they do. That's what they've always done.
The crust down at the bottom, stuck on survival.
Remember the medieval ages? You had the king, he sat up on the castle, on the hill, with a moat, and guards, and knights. And they go out and collect because it was a system of feudalism.
end up pointing a finger at each other. The poor, impoverished, those that weren't born into royalty. And so,
things have evolved, but they haven't changed.
see, it's working out for some people, just not the majority. And because we're stuck on the bottom, gnawing at each other's feet,
Injecting us with poison.
the design of the entire complex to keep the masses divided at the bottom.
Through all the channels. You know, if you're dealing with a media company like, let's say, The Ledger, for example, they're taking money. You see? So it's easy when you can go out and falsely charge somebody and threaten them and intimidate them and force them to pay you, you can turn around and take that money and pay it to the media company to promote your cause. Isn't that what we're seeing today? Major promotion of law enforcement. They had to kill somebody, but hey, it was justified. Here's why. We'll tell you the story.
We need a crackdown.
That is their choice. Be servants of corruption. Or you can opt out. Declare freedom. We're dealing with a kind of emergency.
Drink on this clear water. You gone out to the ocean lately and looked at it? Not very clear.
Take heed. The time is now.
So I'll praise you, O Lord, with my whole heart. I will show forth all your marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing praise to your name.
Take action. Develop a strategy.
When my enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at your presence. For you have maintained my right and my cause. You sat in the throne judging right. See, our God is a God of righteousness.
And I was brought here on jury duty. I didn't last long. I have to admit it. But you know, I'm thinking they weren't going to choose me anyway. But I had a message. Because everybody was in that room. I thought it was the appropriate time to notify people that they have not only the power, yet the responsibility to nullify.
Not because the slave masters told us that we had a right, but because we had a right, right? So they gathered around. And they took counsel against our king
To be the judge. Then they can wash their hands and say, hey, it wasn't us that made the decision. We just profited from it.
Yet he said, how shall I cast out devils by the devil? Can a house that's divided against itself stand?
You got a pedophile for a president.
Sign up for it. Forget it. And by the way, when you sign something, you don't have to put you don't have to make a signature, just scribble. Yes, you have rebuked the heathen and have destroyed the wicked. You have put out their name forever. O you enemy, destructions are come to perpetual end. You have destroyed cities. Their memorial is perished with them. Yet the Lord shall endure forever. He has prepared his throne for judgment. He shall judge the world in righteousness and minister judgment to the people in uprightness. Lord will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Yes, a refuge in times of trouble.
And I heard recently that 23% of adults in the United States have a bachelor's degree. And that compares with 5% in the 1970s. Sounds great. Progress, right? Except When you compare that to income, and you come to realize that if minimum wage held real value today, as it did in the 70s, it would be somewhere around $25 an hour.
I don't want to mix this up.
So,
I got it all marked for the other day. All right. Think positive, man.
Thank you, man. Listen to people.
All right.
so you better listen to us. We're credible. You know, it's a false impression. It's an illusion. It amounts to sorcery.
Incentive is to keep spending commerce, keep moving the dollar. You know, because every time we move the dollar, they're taking a little slice off the top. That's right. It's built into the system. It's done by design. It's called the central bank scheme. And that rules these individuals that work in and out of these institutions. Their orders are being pushed down the line. And everything that they serve is for capital and capital interest. You know, we're in a system called capitalism. It wouldn't function without this rule of law. That's the basis of it. And all the fossil fuels and everything else that destroys our life, what we have. But that's okay, man. We're gonna get a spaceship and throw it up into the
Thing
sky.
with the sons of sorcerers and seed of the adulterers. You know, the popular excuse is everyone's doing it. You know, the rationale is it's just my job. You know, I have to make money, I have to do what I'm supposed to do. Besides, everybody else is doing it. It's the way of the world. So I must let go. When you're dealing with these companies like G-Force, what are you really dealing with? British multinational. It's not owned by Americans, so there may be a few. They probably have dual citizenship, though. You know, they have that new passport now that the most elite, they can just travel around and be members of every country now. You see, they designed this structure to benefit them.
Islands, you know, houses all over the world. And they're pimping out children.
It's not really something that I should have to explain, but I find it necessary to explain. You know, I came to serve on the jury duty this morning. You know, we're sitting up there, and I'm trying to educate people about the notification process, what it means to be a jury member, and what powers do you have? What is the most significant power a jury member has? The power to nullify the law. That means that the law that's being abused to lock up innocent people without charge and sometimes murder becomes null and void of no effect.
How many of there is there that we don't see?
Yes, sir.
What church?
Because people don't want to get educated. That's a sad state of reality. When you got to depend on a culture of people that don't choose to be educated. They choose to live in the dark.
They've built up too many assets, too much wealth that they're afraid of losing. And the resources of the earth are getting scarce. We have less water than we need for the entire populations of the earth today. Didn't have to be that way, but it has become that way. That's why you've got hundreds of thousands of people dying in nonsensical wars. Because there's just not enough to go
But it had to
around.
go somewhere. It had to go somewhere. We live in a zero-sum economy. Somebody makes a lot of money today, somebody lost money. You remember the recession?
See, they seek to punish us for their own crimes, for their own transgressions, always looking to take accountability off of themselves.
It's over. It's over. It's over for who?
portion of us out there that are not. They're suffering.
Every time there's one of these drops, somebody got to lose, but somebody will profit.
You know, we're going to be in a virtual reality
The
world.
lies were told that, oh, it's the house market. People couldn't afford their houses, so dumb people. Reality is robotic. Automation takes away jobs, but they didn't want to mention that till now. Now they want to start talking about now that the recession's over. See? Illusion.
Woo! And the word of Lord came unto us, saying, Son of man, prophecy against the shepherds of Israel, prophecy, and say unto them, Thus says Lord God unto the shepherds, woe to the shepherds of Israel, that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flock? Have they not now an inward calling? They profess and vow in their hearts to help the Christ's little flock. The disease have you not strengthened, neither have you healed that which was sick, neither have you bound up, broken, neither have you brought again that which was driven away. Yet do they pay their vows in their palaces and parishes, as did his vows in Smithfield with force. That's important, force, because the entire African slave trade was conducted with force to disrupt entire civilizations. And they say, oh, you know, these people wouldn't be better off if it wasn't for the slave master, Thomas Jefferson and them, George Washington. That's what they say. Their state and the church is their state line. And their calling is their cutting with the sword, for their pride is a right inward calling, and their cruelty is the good moving of their spirit and conscience. I've never tried another system. I tell you, this rule of law is incompatible with what we have today, unless you choose for the world to be ruled by the prince of darkness. Chaotic.
And how do we voice ourselves? We can't get on there. They're not putting us on the screen. We're not getting views. Yeah, we're not going to get views. Well, we got to get out here and make noise. You have to make a scene. You have to find as many people as you can in one place, and you got to start to make a scene. And you got to come with some sense, too. And plenty of scripture. Plenty of scripture, because the scripture holds the truth.
Just for laying aside the commandments of God, they hold the traditions of men. Yes, they have rejected his ways. They were scattered because no shepherd. They became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. My sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill. Yes, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek. Yes, none did search or seek. Where are the shepherds today? Who's our shepherd? Just behold, God is mighty, despises not. He preserves not the life of the wicked, but gives right to the poor. He withdraws not his eyes from the righteous, but with kings on the throne, yes, he does establish.
They would rather you not know. Yes. Why do yourself in mischief, Almighty man? Goodness of God continually. Your tongue divides is just like a sharp razor working deceitfully.
Yes, blind guides and dark dogs would strain a gnat and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees. You know, the scribes were the lawyers, and the Pharisees were the lawmakers. So we're not even going to touch it. He's a billionaire. Look at him. He's making money for us. Everything is in secret. Did anyone see something wrong here? If something went terribly wrong, you know, it's going to take a denunciation, a pullout, a separation from these ways. If we choose to enter into the promised land. The Lord says when we choose to follow His ways and commandments that come out of our belly shall proceed rivers of living waters. That's where life comes from, the water. So we choose to keep our water clean and clear. Not like what you see when you go over there to the ocean. You see all that algae bloom? It must come from the Spirit. And as my flock, thus says Lord, behold, I judge between cattle and cattle, between ram and he goat. Seemeth a small thing unto you to have eaten up the good pasture. Yet you must tread down with your feet the residue of your pasture, and to have drunk in the deep waters, yet you must foul the residue with your feet. Yes, taking it for granted. We have been promised the good land. Yes, the rivers are drying up. The earth reels to and fro like a drunkard. It is moved exceedingly. And man pretends to have jurisdiction of it. He has fooled himself, believing in his own lies. And that's when Satan will take over. And it'll never be enough. And see, the ruling classes, they have too much. They have so much, but it's never enough.
You love evil more than good, lying rather than to speak righteousness. And realize that the wicked one cannot win, because the wicked one refuses the truth.
Worshipping that which he knows not, as declared in Revelation, that they will worship and serve the beast.
Most everyone here is being put in danger.
And the truth always prevails. The truth always wins. In the end.
Yes, thus says the Lord, execute judgment and righteousness. Deliver the spoil out of the hand of the oppressor, and do no wrong. Commandments of men. Do no violence, in which he was crucified. He makes inquisition for blood. He remembers them. He forgets not the cry of the humble. Oh yes. He forgets not our sign. Behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out. As a shepherd seeks out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. And I will bring them out from the people, and gather them from the countries, and will bring them to their own land, and feed them upon the mountains of Israel.